Well, hello, everybody. Happy Friday. We got a good crew hanging out today. Please welcome Laura LeBleu, founding editor of Geezer Magazine. Hi, LeBleu.
Hey, good to
How's
see
it
ya.
going?
That's
And Paul,
a jaunty little tune to come into.
yeah, thank you. I'm glad you like it. And Paul, I didn't ask how to properly pronounce your last name, so I'm not going to try.
Any old way.
Introduce yourself, if you will.
Von Zielbauer.
Okay. I wouldn't have gotten too far off. Yeah. Paul von Zielbauer, co-founder of Geezer Magazine, and this is Geezer Magazine right here. It covers most of my face. Paul was nice enough to deliver this personally. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, no, it's my pleasure. And as I was saying to Laura, we're going to hand deliver all magazines from now on. So I don't care if you're in Topeka or in the Hawaiian Islands.
Yeah.
I'll be delivering it to your door.
Expect Paul soon if you subscribe to Geezer Magazine. I was happy. By the way, I dug up a bunch of old cassettes, and I was happy I found one that matched.
No.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
The Radio Shack realistic baby.
Yeah.
Phone case.
I'm so when I found that, because I was the one who styled the photo shoot for the cover, and I found that and it was blank. There we go. And so that's what I got it. I'm like, oh my God, this is Radio Shack gold. And I just scribbled Geezer Mix #1 on it, and
That's
there
great.
it is on the cover.
So are these yours? All of these on the cover?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And random, sourced from different places, a lot of deep cuts. Okay, I did write the XTC oranges and lemons on there, but I had to get that Memorex in there because I have like such a personal connection with it.
That's the fancy modern Memorex of the late 80s. All I was able to dig up was the classic black, like the black one there.
It's not quite as jaunty as the.
No, you picked the right one. That was much better.
With the little pink on it. It's
Do you
very.
guys remember that ad, the print magazine ad of, was it Bose or what was some audio company of the guy sitting in that deep chair?
Yeah,
having
is
his
it
hair
live
blow
or
back?
is it Memorex?
Yeah, it's live.
That's
or
Memorex?
Yeah.
That was Memorex itself? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like where the speakers are literally making his hair blow as if there was wind.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's classic.
I don't think of that as memory. I guess so. Okay.
That was a tag. Is it live or is it Memorex?
I
And
always
now
wanted to
you
be
all
that
know
guy.
where most of my brain cells are occupied, like what most of my brain cells are occupied by. It's all like jingles and advertising.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
This is
There
it.
it is.
Oh,
Nice.
hold
I
on.
actually had that poster in my room.
Did you
That
really?
doesn't surprise me, Hammond, at all. That doesn't.
Yeah,
surprise me.
I think a lot of dudes in the 80s had that poster in their room.
Yep, I had that poster. I didn't have any sports guys, but I had lots of music, and that was one of them.
That's amazing.
I was always mad about him because, like, why isn't he holding his martini glass? Why waste a good martini?
Yeah.
Alcohol abuse.
Yeah, that martini is about to spill totally out. You're right.
All of his
I
already
remember
taken
notes
flight.
from
So,
Martini.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Wow, I wonder who took that picture. It's really cool.
yeah.
And
always
because
wanted
it's
to be that
before
guy that was sitting in
Photoshop
front
and
of the
everything, right? So
It is. Yeah,
Yeah.
predates Photoshop. So this had to mostly be real.
What
Might
a
not have been an
concept.
actual martini in there, though. We don't know.
That means there was a big ass fan off camera left.
Right? It has to be, right?
Yeah.
To get his hair that way. Either that or he did a lot of hairspray.
Shooting
Yeah.
high
It was the 80s, Tom. Like that.
Yeah.
It could have been hairspray.
It could have been hairspray on the tie, too.
But then what did they glue the lamp to the
Yep.
post?
Yeah.
Sure,
And just
yeah.
hairspray the string. The martini glass is a little different though, but it is black and white, so there's some play you can have there. But still, it's iconic ad.
Amos is a photographer, too, so you know all the tricks, right?
So they wired the tie.
Yeah, they could
Yeah.
wire the tie.
Yeah,
They-
just like
wired the
thinking
string
like
of the
fishing
lamp.
line, drawing it back.
Right.
Or they could just rent a fan for $100 an hour and put it right to. Never mind.
Or
Faking
I mean,
things used to be so much harder.
he could pull a Jamiroquai and just have the room tipped over to where it's it's like flowing.
Oh wow, another like Gen X cut right there.
So the reason I wanted to have Laura and Paul on is the launch of Geezer, the magazine. So explain to us, y'all, what it is and why you're launching a print magazine in 2025.
Because we're Harvard Business School minds.
Yeah, exactly.
Cut it on the leading edge. And I'll let Laura take that one.
Oh man, okay, so Geezer magazine is a magazine basically by, for, and about Gen X, and it's really about the Gen X aging experience, because I mean there are a few different things that came into the genesis of Geezer, and one of them was I think that when I got my first AARP little mailer, I had like this visceral anger, and I'm pretty sure I set it on fire. And I realized that there just seemed to be a huge gap in the conversations that we were having about what it is to be getting older in our generation right now, the things that we're dealing with that I just didn't see anyone talking about with candor and just kind of, like, let's get messy, because midlife is messy, right? And a lot of the stuff just seemed kind of patronizing and not particularly interesting to me. So, we're a DIY generation. So it's like, well, if I can't find it anywhere else, I'm going to find it. We're going to make it myself and create something that other people can be a part of as well. And at the same time, Paul has, and I'll let him talk about it, he has a Substack called Aging with Strength that he's been working on. And so this is kind of I wouldn't say it's an outcropping, but they're related in a way.
Evolution.
Yeah, definitely. Paul, do you want to talk? I should say, I had an epiphany in the shower, and that's where Geezer magazine.
Where the best epiphanies happen.
I was in the shower, and I was like, I'm going to make a magazine, a print-only magazine, and it's going to be called Geezer. And it was one of those things where, like, once I saw it and once the idea came to me, I could not do it.
It was Geezer from the start, from the shower inspiration.
100%. Yes. There was no market testing. There was no nothing.
There was no focus group on that one.
Tom. Yeah, exactly. And I figured, if you don't get it, if you don't like Geezer, it's like, come on, it's got a few shades of irony and fun and tongue in cheek going on. And also, definitely, it's a great word, and we're taking it back.
And also, trying to get a focus group of Gen Xers might not be the easiest thing.
Why? They're all unemployed. What the hell else are they going to do?
We are the cats of the marketing world. Like they've been trying to market to us forever, and we're just like, nope.
Well, I'll say yes, but none of us will show up. Basically.
Right?
Yeah.
Very non-committal approval right here.
Right.
And also, Laura mentioned AARP and just sort of the visceral negative reaction to being considered, like who says it's appropriate to mail me a flyer, for $9 a year, you get a tote bag and some discount on your insurance. But it's, AARP has a place. We don't want to be juxtaposing ourselves against something, but when we would see, I would see ads where it's like the old guy with the white hair and his skateboard that the actor who's playing the old guy has never once fucking skated on. Can we say bad words on this podcast?
We just did, so yeah, sure.
And then the cherubic old lady cutting roses in her garden because that's what you do when you turn 55, and we're just like, bullshit. If that's the 1970s standard for what being in your 50s is supposed to be, which of course it's not, then we need a new standard. And that's what generated Laura's shower epiphany, which we can still talk about more if you want, Laura.
Oh no, we'll get me out of the shower at this point.
But it's the idea that, especially in the age of AI, and I made fun, I made a joke about everyone being laid off because frankly it happened to me. So I hope nobody's offended by that. But it's like in the age of AI where who knows what employment actually means anymore. Certainly there's no loyalty from the employer side of things. Especially for people at our age, where there's a lot of ageism cropping into or growing into what we're doing for money these days, or the many things we're doing. We just thought that this is not being talked about as a real problem. Geezer isn't, Geezer is partly nostalgic, looking back at those cassette tapes and what we did in the 80s and how we were raised in 80s and 90s, I should say. But also, it's looking at all the things that are happening to people. Like Laura said, midlife is messy in some great ways, but it's also a very powerful part of our life. We're fully capable of achieving lots of great things entrepreneurially, creatively, professionally, and we just didn't see that being represented, Tom, anywhere in the market.
Yeah. I mean, it's not. I'm a little weird in that I was excited to get my AARP card at 50.
You wanted those hot discounts, huh, Tom?
The day after, I was like, I had been sent an AARP card when I was 16, like just through some mailing list snafu. And so I think that ever since then, I was like, I can't wait to actually make this legit. I'm going to get that
someday
discount coffee or anything.
Maybe that was a part of maybe that was a marketing.
It's a long-term marketing.
We're going to hook them early. We're going to make them wait.
Grooming.
But then I started getting all the stuff and I'm like, none of this is for me. None of the stuff in the magazine is for me. None of the articles are for me. I either know it already or it doesn't apply. Right.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's a marketing organization. I think that's what it calls itself. So, and we're kind of the opposite. In fact, we could probably use more marketing. We're just putting together, our ideas. It's a story-based, experience-based kind of genuine, like a lot of candor, like Laura said, and just looking forward to what we can all achieve, because our tagline, Tom, is kicking ass in your second half. Mm-hmm. Which is meant to be a little bit, in your face, but it's also quite genuine and thoughtful.
Howard says his first discount was for AARP on his cell phone bill, which was great, but the magazine didn't make any sense to him either. So there you go.
I'm like, hey man, you get it.
Yeah, get that discount.
Discounts. Come on, we all need them these days, right? But if you actually want to have the conversations and the storytelling and deep dives into weird things that AARP will never touch, come to Geezer Magazine, because that's what we got for you.
Yeah, I don't think there's one thing in here that I would expect to see in AARP.
It's funny when you talk about the employment side of things. I had spent 25 years working for basically the county, and then I went full-time podcasting, and my parents told all their friends that I was just unemployed, hanging out with my friends in the basement on the computer. Because they didn't understand this. They didn't understand this can be or could be a job.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what my wife still thinks, and she's only a year younger than me.
Well, for you, it's only half true.
I'm still pulling dual retirement plus podcasting, so it's like my mortgage is paid regardless of how the podcast does, but I prefer it to do well.
I mean, I'm curious, does the basement part of it, is that really like, if you were doing this someplace that wasn't subterranean, would it feel a little bit more legit to
I think my parents didn't find it legitimate until I told them I ended up in a magazine, oddly enough, a print magazine. And that all of a sudden shut them up. And they're like, okay, this is a real thing. But I do think that if I were going out and walking into a quote unquote studio, I think that they would see it as a real job.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's that old fashioned proof of something, social proof.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That and you don't really have a boss, and that's a foreign concept to a lot of people. That you're your own boss.
He does, but he's a jackass. I do have a boss, and he's a jackass.
Who are we talking about here?
I think he's talking about me or himself. I'm not even sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah, exactly. Let's clarify.
Tom's a great boss. Tom's much nicer than I am.
Yeah.
Oh, you were talking about yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel a little better.
That up.
Yeah.
I know.
Awkward. As a comparison,
so your boss is like my boss, Hammond. Okay.
Yeah.
Tom, as a boss, has never instilled a crippling fear of failure to the point of inability to actually activate or actuate the work that needs to be done. I have upon myself several times.
I wake up every morning with a crippling fear of failure.
It's a lifestyle at this point.
Yeah.
it's just the MO of the generation, I think.
All my bosses are in the chat right now, basically. Thank you, Howard.
Is in there too?
Amos and Hammond, you know what you guys remind me of? You remind me of those two brothers in the bear, the Hulu TV show.
Oh yeah.
You know, they're kind of like blah 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 blah. What did I say? Blah, blah, blah.
I thought you were going to say Statler and Waldorf.
Yeah, I thought that's
No.
where he was going too. I think there's a mix. I think
Which is a compliment, by the way. Those guys are
It's
my favorite characters.
Hammond's one of those folks that I've never met in person. And
Yes, you have. Nerdtacular 2013.
No,
See?
I wasn't at 2013.
Oh.
2017.
You guys are proving his point right now.
See?
I'm just saying.
Exactly. but every time I talk to him, I feel like I've known him for decades. And we've only really started working together this year. But the conversations are always like hearty and good, and usually tangentially related to something else going on that we should actually be talking about.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, Tom.
Yeah.
Speaking of working with someone for decades, should we tell the people how we know each other?
Oh sure. Yeah. Do you want to go first or shall I?
You go first.
So and apologies if some people have heard parts of this story before, but I bet you haven't heard all of it.
No.
I got a job at ZDTV because a friend of mine that I had worked at a used bookstore in Austin was sending me job descriptions in 1999 from the San Francisco Women on the Web mailing list.
SF Wow. Yes,
SF Wow.
I remember that.
I applied for 3 jobs through that, got offered all of them, took the one at ZDTV. And when I got to work at ZDTV, lo and behold, mutual friend Laura LeBleu was there, who I also knew through that same person, Cindy, who had been sending me all those job descriptions. I can't remember exactly what year it was when Cindy introduced you to me, though. I think it was probably 94. Yeah.
Oh, because it was earlier, before you came out to San Francisco to work.
Yeah. So we knew of each other
Right,
through Cindy.
Yeah.
But we actually started working together, and that's when we really got to know each other in 1999. What were you doing there, Laura?
Well, Tom, I was the voice of the virtual character that hosted the network. So there was the saucy red-headed virtual character, motion capture, that would do the interstitials and I would write articles as this persona. Their name was Tilda. So I would puppeteer Tilda with my fingers. So I would do the voice and the face. Oh my God.
I was going to say, can we pull that up?
That
People?
is an old cut. That's even Tilda before she got a glow up, you guys. So I would do the voice and I would write her stuff and I would read scripts for a show called the ZDTV Zip File. And then we became Tech TV. But my little sign off was like, it's like, all right, coming up on ZDTV Zip Drive, we're going to learn how to overclock your hard drive. And then, my name's Tilda, and I'll see you later.
TV Zip File, and on home mortgages, raise dead cows at DEF CON, and clear up the conspiracy email.
Oh my God.
Theater degree in action there, folks.
Yeah, baby. Oh, look at that. Perfect freeze frame. Amazing. That was so high tech too. We were the first virtual media department, and we had, we would go into the studio and we had this massive stage that had the huge magnet underneath it, and we had 3 different people who could do Tilda's body, and so they would get into the mocap suit, and it was insane. It was so much fun. It was in late 90s San Francisco. This is the only time this would have happened because I had a theater degree. I got sent in by my agent and I got this job, and I ended up being a television producer, and that ended up driving my whole career and going into copywriting and being a writer in technology. And so here I am now. But anyways, Tom, it's like I love the continuum, this strange sort of path that we have both taken. Yeah. And it all started with a virtual character in the 90s.
Like Maxine Headroom.
Yes, very Maxine Headroom. Oh my gosh.
I just read one of the comments saying, back to that Memorex image, that maybe the martini was acrylic, which would be a pretty cool keepsake.
Like the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh. Now I want one of those.
That's so cool.
Yeah, acrylic spilled martini. Kind of says it all about Gen X.
You just have it always spilling, sitting on your side
Yeah.
table. Yeah.
Really.
Semi-toxic substance representing an alcoholic beverage that you're not going to be able to drink.
Forever
Tom,
in flight.
If you'd gone to see Yes and Memorex had been there and been handing out acrylic martinis, ever spilling acrylic martinis with just the Memorex logo
There'd
on it,
be
you'd
one
have it
sitting
on the
right
shelf.
there.
Yeah, you'd have
exactly.
it right now. Like, it would be there. That would be awesome.
Oh man, yeah.
So how's the launch going? I was showing this to a friend of mine, and when I paused on the on this article here.
Oh yes, eject disc.
Greg's stories, eject disc. He was
Love
like,
it.
"Oh man, I love that." He's like, "I want to start a zine again immediately." That was his reaction.
Yeah, it's kind of like, well, the launch is going really well, by the way, and I've got to say, I'm super excited. We've been just given a lot of positive reinforcement, good feedback, because I feel like people are just dying for something that is analog, that they can hold in their hands, and that isn't corporatized and kind of sanitized, because this is ours. There's no one else calling the shots. We're not beholden. Unfortunately, we're not beholden yet. We would love to find a few partners, a few like-minded advertising partners who can see what we're doing and want to be, want to be part of the mix. But it's really just such a kind of genuine expression of Gen X right now. So people have been responding well. We're subscriber based only at this point. So that's at geezermagazine.com if anyone wants to subscribe. And honestly, I just feel like, we've been so inundated with kind of the empty calories of digital content that just seems to be, it's always there. We're washing it, and it's filling, but it's not necessarily satisfying. So what I've found is when people actually hold this in their hands and they page through it and they take time with it, they get their martinis, they sit in the big
They're acrylic martinis.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Do you want to tell them what's in the magazine, like what's in the first issue?
Oh yeah. We can go through some of that. The first thing I think of actually takes me back. There are a couple of stories that actually resonate with anyone who was in the Bay Area during the .com days. One of them is, and Tom, I don't know if you're familiar with Mark Pauline, but he basically, this guy is a madman. He essentially created the genre of performance art that is based on robotics. So, basically Robo Wars or whatever they have him to thank, because he created these huge spectacles, these art spectacles where he would truck out these massive, truck out these massive machines that he's created that blew fire. And then, at one point he had all these counterfeit money that he sprayed onto the streets of New York City. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a stump of a right or left hand as a result of his industrial art, but
his dedication, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. He's definitely suffered for his art, I'll tell you that much.
But he told, I think in the story, he tells the story in this article, he tells the story of how, so he was they wanted to blow up money. Of course, they had to create the money with a printer, but it turned out so real, he said, that this was in New York City, I think, that people, it blew up and it was fluttering through the air sort of cinematically, and people were using it to buy drinks at bars, and he walked into a bar and people were using his money, and he's like, shit, that's a felony if I get caught. So
I guess that is a form of distribution, blowing up the money.
Sure, there you go, right.
But we called him the most dangerous artist in America because, he was just he was Skynet before there was Skynet in art form.
And here's the thing, that what makes this a real geezer story, I think, is that it's at a place now where our society is not that friendly to things that feel dangerous, or to art that really takes you into a different place, and that feels like it has, that it's not sanitized. It's in your face. It's loud. It's on fuego, literally. And he can't, he got NEA grants back in the day. He's done shows all over the world. He still can, and he wants to, but the times have changed. And so he's having a hard time getting someone who has the cojones to actually give him space for a show. And I think that's really interesting too. That's where there's this kind of stress in like who you are now based on what society wants now. And that's the geezer kind of twist to it.
That's so interesting. I hadn't even thought about that. That sort of prevalent, you must agree with me mentality. I don't want to be challenged mentality.
Yes, he calls it anti-escapist art. So this is not like, oh, you go to see like a pretty picture and something.
Yeah.
Really in your face, and it takes you to a different place. And his stuff is all, it's got political overtones. There's a reason that he was blowing up money, and for what was so like, this was like the pinnacle of San Francisco subversive art back in the day, and everyone was clamoring to be a part of it. And now it feels like people are just too scared. Like, so what does that say about us as a society? It's interesting.
Yeah.
We also have things that are just fun in the magazine too.
We also have practical things.
we have. So I was thinking of, all of the health and wellness stuff that we're constantly inundated with. And I was like, well, how can we do that for Geezer? And so I got a friend of mine who is a badass naturopath. Her name's Dr. Renee Young. And I said, girl, I need you to write me a piece on, if you're 50 now or in your 50s now, what do you do now if you spent your 20s doing drugs in the clubs? So it's like, how do you how do you recover? How do you recover? What is your recovery? Maybe what happened then, and how can you deal with it now? So I don't think AARP is going to putting that in their pages,
Nor will they be putting in one of our regular columns, which is called Unfuck Your ...
Yeah.
Finances is this one, right?
Yeah.
On the first
You're
issue
looking
is
at different ways
finances.
you can unfuck your things.
In the second issue, I think it's going to be on relationships. Is that right, Laura?
Yeah,
okay.
unfuck your uncoupling. So it's for anyone who happens to be going through a gray divorce. Like, how can you do this with some measure of grace for yourself and for the people around you? Yeah.
I see Amos grinning.
I just read an article the other day on how the quiet divorce is becoming a thing, and it sparked up. I mean, not that my relationship's doing that, but like there's we've been married almost 20 years, so there's signs of certain things, and it brought up a great conversation. But that wasn't focused at me in my generation. That was just in general. So I can imagine something specific to my generation would be more apt to spark a conversation between my wife and I.
Yeah.
I mean,
Did you have something you were going to go there with?
no, I'm letting you.
Oh, well, it's just something we know is it's a topic, and there's a phenomenon around the gray divorce and people who have had long-term relationships, and they're hitting their 50s and they're losing their minds. And that's something we wanted to address really honestly, and also with a bit of humor, that, I mean, we don't have anything if we don't have a sense of humor, right? So we also, we look for the fun in whatever we can. Like, we do have a phobituary section, and our phobituary is for AOL dial-up internet.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
I think we've described, Laura and I described Geezer magazine to people who aren't familiar with it as, think of if National Geographic magazine and Mad magazine and let's say McSweeney's magazine, if you know that one, had a threesome, the love child would be Geezer, because it takes bits of all of those things like the sweep and the beauty, like making it a beautiful product, which we hope, the cover sort of alludes to, but just making it fun to look at. And then, having definitely that. In fact, we're going to put in Geezers. You remember in Mad Magazine, they would have these fake products.
Yeah.
That would make fun of actual products, but it's like subversive without being too obvious. So it was funny. I think we're going to, that's part of our shtick also, but also just having like novel takes on things like McSweeney's, this magazine by Dave Eggers, that you won't find anywhere else. And so our litmus test, which Laura and I were just talking about a few minutes ago before we came on, is, we want Geezer to look, feel, sound, and act like nothing else you can find in anywhere, like whether it's print only or on the internet. It has to be unique, because we're in we have a unique generation of not only Gen X, but, early boomers or whatever, late millennials, who we're all faced with this, like I said before, this AI and other kinds of onslaught, political, cultural dissonance that is intimidating, scary, an opportunity as well. Mm-hmm. And so Geezer wants to be something that you can't really find or get anywhere else.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, when you dropped this off yesterday, I was expecting a really well done print magazine. I still wasn't expecting this. Like, it's solid. It's well made. It looks gorgeous. It feels good in the hand. It's big, but it's not so big that you can't sit and read it. Yeah. In fact, it's the right, kind of, it's almost like the tabloid feel, but in magazine form.
Yeah.
Just really, really as an object itself is really well done.
Oh,
I wanted to have it big enough where you could kill a mugger with it. But also,
yeah, it's great for self-defense. 100% hand-to-hand combat print magazine.
I was actually going to say
it's a magazine. Drink by yourself.
I was going to say it's the magazine I used to throw at kids when I yell, "Get off my lawn!"
It's a get off my lawn, kid magazine. Exactly right,
so appropriate, so on brand.
My wife has told me that I'm an old man, and I just grew into it as I aged.
Oh yeah, some people were born old. Yeah. Congratulations on finally hitting your stride, man.
Yeah, I actually played an old man on the porch for Halloween last year. So as the kids would come up towards the house, I would just throw candy at them at the yard and tell them to get out of my yard, stop stepping on my grass while I'm throwing candy on the grass. Is a big hoot. I think there was like one kid that was a little intimidated, but all the parents got a good laugh out of it. And I mean, I threw like $100 worth of candy in the yard, and it all got taken up. So I don't think I did too bad, but it was fun.
No one lost an eye in the process?
No. I mean,
because he threw round eye-like candy, so you just couldn't tell.
So if it popped it out, it'd just be one for one replacement. Yeah.
There you go.
No one would ever know. I found myself wanting to read print more lately. Yeah. I did the LA Times weekend edition for a while, at first it was great. It was pure nostalgia, right? I was like, oh, I get to look at the comics again, and then after a few weeks of that, I'm like, yeah, but there's just not enough here. So now I'm doing the Financial Times weekend edition, which is a bit heftier, and they've got an amazing. To this point, they've got this amazing magazine that's the insert that is a magazine on its own. It's nice and big, almost the same size as this, with really well done layouts and photography and all that. And I probably spend more time reading that than the rest of the newspaper. But even then, like with the Netflix Warner Brothers merger, on Saturday, Financial Times print edition showed up, and I was like, oh, I want to sit and read this instead of being on my phone where a notification is going to pop up and it's, only as big as that phone screen will ever be. I can't just, lay back and relax. I don't know if it's just me being a geezer or if that's something where it's like we've all been on screens so much that we're starting to realize there is that benefit to that.
I think the latter, Tom. I actually think, so many people are saying a version of what you just said. I certainly feel that. And I feel like it's physiological, like the human eyeball and physiology is not designed to be satisfied. Like you said, looking at screens of various sizes, like where are my glasses? What's that ding that just went off? Like getting distracted. You just want to sit and be and not multitask for once, you know? I mean, like you go on the street anywhere and you see people looking at their phones, and I just thought yesterday, that's multitasking. Like that's a form of, because you're walking somewhere and you're looking at your phone, which is what we all do all the time. And it sucks. Like I don't want to multitask most of the day, every day. And I think that's why print only is alluring.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting, Tom. I've had this conversation with Paul and with other people, and that I'm a reader. I've always been a reader. I love reading. I love books. But over the last 5 years in particular, I've found myself almost like it's become such a challenge to finish a book. And I'm like, what has happened to my brain? This used to be my escape. This used to be my getaway. Be how I was able to, you know, explore other worlds. And I started to I'm angry. I feel as if my attention has been so fractured, and my brain has been rewired in a way that it's like I'm realizing that it's trying to take away, like this pervasive technology is trying to take away something that I love. And so Geezer is part of my own effort to, you know, to reclaim analog, to reclaim that thing, you know, the way that your mind works when you are able to immerse yourself in the printed word. And so I feel like as a society, even my son, I have a 15-year-old kid, and I gave him the magazine. He was like, analog media is fire. I went, yes, son, it is. So I feel like
you were the proudest mom in the entire planet.
Oh my gosh. Sure. That's like serious mom, like, you know, joy from my head when I heard him say that. He also actually is reading books in his school. So I'm very proud of that.
I just now made me want to look what's on page 67. Sorry.
Oh, you had to go there, Tom, huh?
I had to. I heard it was dead. Apparently, according to some.
It's way dead if I'm saying it. That's.
There was Lewis Black just did a segment on the Daily Show on 6/7 that was pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, it's over.
But one of the things Laura said reminded me of this thought I had. I think it was after I got back. I took my mom and my daughter on a vacation of Europe last summer, and I remember after I got back, I had some magazine print, you know, it's like the Atlantic or something, and it struck me like, holy cow! A writer wrote this article that I'm reading, and then sent it to an editor, and then the editor edited it. And this goes to, I think, was a comment from Christopher in the comments about a layer of fact checking that is in print only, that you don't really necessarily get with online stuff. And what it reminded me of is like, I felt like I went through a time portal, because I'm like, I'm reading something now that literally somebody thought of a month or 2 months ago, maybe even 3 months ago. So this is like an artifact. And it feels so weird to think that was the way that the world worked, which is why everything seemed slower back, you know, before the internet, because you had 3-month-old ideas in your hands on the train to work, or, you know, Saturday coffee, drinking your coffee. But now everything is instant, obviously. And that's why everything feels faster now, because there is no preserved in amber thoughts that we're getting in a time delay. Like, you know, it's like all the planets aren't light years away. They're right in front of your face. And that, like I was saying before, doesn't quite feel right. You know, it feels okay, like we can deal with it, but it's not the way we were meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a constant complaint. In fact, my grandma, who was born in 1901, talked about like how things kept getting faster and faster. So the complaint that things are getting faster is never new. What's different is how we adapt to it, right? And I think one of the things that strikes me about all of that is we always go back to the previous technology at some point to kind of rescue what was good about it, and we'll leave behind parts of it that weren't good, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like we're in that place now where, yeah, you can do long form journalism on the web. It is done all the time. It gets lost. And I think there's something about the medium that makes you able to focus and absorb better when you're not being distracted and you're not reading a screen. And I don't think every print magazine, I don't want to come off as anti-technology, because I think there's a lot of great things that we can do on
I mean,
the
here
web.
we are talking.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
Amazing.
It'd be kind of hypocritical to sit here and like, the web is not good for anything except what we're doing right now. But I think we're now starting to realize, but it's not good at everything. There were some things that were better. And I don't know, analogies are always hard, but radio didn't die. Radio figured out, but we're still better at this. We're better at delivering music. We're better at delivering conversational news that you don't have to look at when TV came
weather
along.
and traffic on the sevens.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. And I think we took a longer time than I would have guessed to get around to realizing, print is better at some things.
Yeah. Yeah, I think with radio, I remember, back when we were growing up, we had DJs, right? DJs. We had personalities. We had these people who we would follow. Mine was Jeffrey Scott with KLAQ in El Paso, Texas. And then everything got taken over by corporate and the people got phased out. And once the people were subtracted from that equation, it lost its mojo. And I'm feeling like, okay, well, wait a second, what's happening now with things like podcasts, with different, like, we're finding the people again. And we're finding the people within the storytelling as well and so that's how this particular, radio and into podcasts has been able to adjust, adapt, and improve, really. So that's interesting. No.
I love what Christopher's saying here. 2 of his 4 kids want cassettes and CDs. He had to relearn how to burn a CD today.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, my son just went out and got a Lave LP for his girlfriend for her birthday. So, it's like print ain't dead, and media evolves, and the pendulum swings, and we just as humans and as a society, I think we can feel when it has swung too far one way.
I remember my parents being stunned that I was interested in playing my mom's old records. She had these like great old Frank Sinatra records and stuff in the 80s, when they're like, aren't you supposed to be watching MTV? And I'm like, well, I do. But I'm also interested in this. I think that's also something that's kind of timeless, is every generation rediscovering the earlier generation's things.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because, Laura, you mentioned your favorite DJ. So I grew up near Chicago, and I don't know if you guys know, he had a national reputation, but this guy named Steve Dahl. Steve Dahl. There was a time when he famously or infamously blew up a bunch of disco records at Park, during the 7th inning.
Back when disco was dead, yeah.
Disco demolition.
And I don't know. I don't recall it too much, probably because I had too many acrylic martinis. But it was like some people got injured or some from flying, vinyl or some shit.
Oh my God.
And that was about as.
Mark Pauline should have gotten together.
Like blowing up 70s disco records in the 80s and then having it turn into a 5-alarm fire.
Yeah, but it tore up Comiskey Park.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was when it was called Comiskey Park, before they sold it to some.
Yeah, before it became a cell.
Company.
Yeah.
So I have a 13-year-old, and she likes to draw. And the other day I was asking her, like, I've provided you the tools that I thought you would want. Like, you've got a decently new iPad and the pencil, and you've got the apps and everything else. Why do you still draw on paper? Like, we were going through so much paper. And she started explaining it, and I actually got nostalgic for the times on Thursday afternoons in Palmdale, California. I would go to the Palmdale Library because that's when Rolling Stone would come out. And I'd make the trek. I'd have to change my shirt because Palmdale wasn't very friendly to unmelanated people at the time. And cross the tracks head to the library and sit there, and I'd read cover to cover every episode of Rolling Stone magazine the day that the library got it. Like, they would hold it behind the counter waiting for me to show up so I could get it, read through it, and then give it back to them. And then they would catalog it for the shelf.
Pre-catalog. That's amazing.
But she was talking about this, like, her drawing on paper. There's no distractions. There's no one bothers her. She doesn't have to worry about anybody else. She just has to worry about her and her comfort and putting her ideas onto the page. And I was like, that's what we didn't have cell phones or anything else back there, but going there and then sitting there and just absorbing myself into the latest news in the music world was kind of, just this moment of quiet, even though I was actively engaging my brain. And then, putting that down and leaving the library and heading home, and I was like, okay, well, it's time to get on with the real world.
Yeah. Monotasking, right? I mean, the purest expression of just monotasking instead of trying to do two things like walk and check your cell phone. It's really important.
Yeah. There's been one thing I've realized. So I'm a runner, and I used to run
like in the Logan's Run sense, or
yes, very much in the Logan's.
No, in the illegal whiskey sense.
Bootlegger.
Yeah, I'm definitely more. My family history would be much more conducive to bootlegging. But I do try to run for actual health benefits, but mostly my brain health. And this is another thing that I've realized. When I used to go for a run, I never took my phone. I didn't have my watch. I didn't have any of these tracking and yada yada. And I remember feeling that was such a great, like, this is my time when I can get out. No one can find me. I don't have to think about anything except for what is happening in my head. And that was some of the most creative time spent while I was out, because a lot of times for me personally, like, doing something physical unleashes the mental. But that has devolved. Or not devolved. I don't know. I've lost that now that I've been running with my phone and with my Garmin. And I think I'm going to stop doing that because, just why?
Well,
why?
That's why shower thoughts are so prevalent, because you don't there's
Right?
nothing else you have going on. You have to be kind of by yourself.
Yeah.
For that period of time. So
that reminds me of
either.
it used to be shitter thoughts, and then we had Uncle what was it? Uncle Crapper's bathroom reader.
I get the little thing that be on the back of it.
I have the 25th anniversary edition. It's nice and thick. It's great. You just kind of flip through there. You forget your phone, don't have time to go get it, whatever.
Maybe we can excerpt some of that.
Uncle John's bathroom reader. There we go. Yep. So it was like the Reader's Digest, those little single line. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it would have been a better name.
Yeah.
So I ran the Honolulu Marathon twice. And during the training, I had one 90-minute cassette tape that I used on my yellow Sportsman
on your
Sony Walkman. And on one side, it had Ride the Lightning. And on the other side, it had Kill 'Em All. Okay. Now, to this day, if I listen to those songs, I can tell you exactly where I'm supposed to be in training and what landmark I was near on my training route. To this very day. And I feel anxious when I listen to it that I'm not running anymore, because it was such a ingrained part of my training routine.
Yeah.
But also, those songs mean a lot to me because I had a lot of time to think about not just the lyrics and what I was doing as far as running, but like just be with me. And those two albums are just tied up in a whole bunch of me growing up in my junior and senior year of high school. And like, it's amazing how important that 90 minutes of music was, not just to being able to run the Honolulu Marathon, but like to growing up and becoming who I am now.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Music, like smell, those are two senses that really transport you back to where you were when you first encountered them often. There's one, in fact, in the magazine, in Geezer, there's an editor's note from Laura, which I encourage everybody to read because she says she wants to get into your pants, so worth reading. But
she says maybe.
Context.
Oh, well.
Metaphorically.
Better than 50% chance. But in the editor's note I wrote about this time in 1989, I think, where I found myself sitting on my friend Daphne's couch for a week because my vacation had gotten screwed up coming from Chicago to where she lived down here in Southern California. And anyway, MTV was sort of in its heyday, beginning stages, and the Tears for Fears song. What's the name of the song, Laura? Now I
Seeds of
forgot.
Love. Yeah.
What?
Seeds of love, right? Sowing the seeds of love.
Sowing the Seeds of Love. Yeah. I heard that so many times, and I then and now I just don't like watching music videos. I find it utterly boring, and you can hate me for that, but I love that song, and I heard it recently, and it took me right back to your point, Hammond, of being on Daphne's blue velour couch for a week in the dark all day while she was at work because she wasn't expecting me.
Yep, there it is.
And it's a really great song. And so music is really just a very powerful, nostalgic drug.
This was state of the art graphics.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Look at those onks. And oh my God, come on. Can you get
And
more
those uncles. And the
Or-
uncles.
We need to put superimpose Tilda into this video.
There she is.
There she is, right? Whee!
Yeah, and to your point, when I was reading your editor's note, Paul, like that song immediately was background music for the rest of that read from the moment you mentioned it. Yeah. It just infected my brain.
I mean, it turns out it's a really complicated, interesting song that borrows from some Beatles psychedelia, and so I encourage people to go back and listen to it if you haven't.
Yeah,
in a while.
I went back and I listened to it recently after you wrote that too, and I was like, yeah.
It's really good, right? And the message is so on point now with it's sort of a very political statement of, political greed and selfishness and a need for sowing the seeds of love and not division.
I love it when you become all like peace, love, and hippie, Paul.
Yeah, well,
the opposite of that is Symphony of Destruction by Megadeth, which is the exact opposite.
Very similar songs.
Yeah.
Well, as a Midwestern white guy, I have plenty of heavy metal on my YMCA heavy lift days. So.
Well, I want to tie several threads together: heavy metal, radio, and that cassette tape that matches up with your cover. Do you know what's on this cassette tape? None of you would, but just rhetorically speaking, you want to guess what's on this cassette tape?
Look what the cat dragged in.
The Replacements.
You're in love. The Invasion of Your Privacy, where we're at.
These are all great guesses and are probably on these other cassettes here, but not on this one.
Okay, I'm gonna say like.
Husker Du.
Husker Du. That's a good one. Or we want to go. No, you would have probably gotten like In Excess. You probably would have just.
Tom's a Dead Milkman Man.
This is my 1986 air check of my first appearance on WGEL radio. WGEL was country during the day and heavy metal at night.
Nice.
Okay, I'm having a hard time with WGEL.
So it was like
father, son. I have to process that first.
Yeah,
but then the country heavy metal juxtaposition.
The best country in the country, and then after 8 p.m., the rock zone.
The Rock Zone.
It's
Why don't we have a sitcom based on WGEL?
Well, it's like WKRP, where they were rock and roll at night and easy listening, easy listening at night and rock and roll during the day.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, that was the flip flop, right? Because Venus did the smooth jazz at the night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Right. Baby,
yeah.
if you ever
I actually just bought the box set of all 4 seasons. It's sitting on my desk right there.
Oh, that's fantastic. Did you watch the Thanksgiving turkey one? I mean, it's an annual. You have to do that.
I've instituted a rule in my house. My kids are constantly going back and finding like old tracks from the 80s, things like that. And they're just like, oh, this is a fun song. Then I'll be singing along. They're like, how do you know this? The whole conversation. So now, anytime they find a song that's not a current song that's dated, especially from the 90s or the 80s, the rule in the house is that they have to watch the music video. Just one time, I don't care if you never watch it again, but when you discover a song, you really like it, you have to go back and watch the music video just to get that feeling of what it was like at the time to see, it's been a lot of fun.
So now you need to introduce them that song that I saw you standing in the rain, just to watch have them sing Silly Rabbit Tricks It for Kids.
Laura.
Oh my gosh, that's such a
You were holding hands and now
never be the same. Okay, my fun
busted.
I had the distinct pleasure, and this is one of the things that I find as a parent, especially when my kid was younger. Now he won't listen to me about anything, but I got to introduce him to Beastie Boys,
Wow.
Sabotage, which is one of the ultimate, and also Intergalactic Planetary. And man, you show a 5-year-old Intergalactic Planetary and they are going to be Beastie Boys fans for life. So
Yeah, that video is amazing.
That's how it works.
When my youngest was 10, I introduced her to the album Bucky Fellini by the Dead Milkmen, and she's been a fan ever since.
That's awesome. I did make the mistake of telling Cody when he was like 5 or 6 that there was a band called the Butthole Surfers, and he almost died. I think that was like, okay.
Yeah.
Too funny, right?
Yeah.
I have a 10-year-old, and I introduced her at age 7 or 8 to Jam On It. Remember that song?
Jam on it. Jam.
And it's like the long version is really long.
Oh.
Bump, 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 bump. And then I started rapping. I knew all the lyrics, so I'm like, this 55-year-old dad being like, and she's like,
dear. She even knew back then that wasn't really great.
Can you roll up the windows, Dad? Like, this
I still do that with younger Steve Buster move, which drive my kids bonkers.
My kids are always trying to get me to trying to stump me on hits from the 80s and 90s. Like, oh, I bet you don't know this song.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll just start singing along with it. And they're like, you know the words? Like, yeah, we had to know the words. How did you memorize it? We had to memorize the words. Like, you couldn't just look. There was no genius.
Couldn't look on your
you couldn't
phone
just look it up. You had to know.
You had to know that Bangkok was an Oriental city, what the city didn't know what the city was getting.
Also, to hear the one song you wanted to hear on KHTR, you had to hear KHTR play all the other songs 15 times.
Yeah.
Okay. Did anyone else? So part of my editor's note in Geezer magazine is what I started with was being on my brother's. He had this like trundle bed or whatever on Sunday mornings, waiting to record Dr. Demento.
Mm.
So, and he was like, you'd sit there and you'd wait. You had the tape and you had your little thing. You had to press play and record at the same time. Boom. And that became, that was so huge for me. So Dr. Demento was a very big part of me growing up.
This one just says Keishi on it.
Keishi.
So I assume it's just songs off of Keishi radio.
Do you remember Boogie in Your Butt by Eddie Murphy?
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. I actually, when you say that, Paul, I remembered where I was the first time I heard it.
I remember the first time I put dust in my butt as a result of that song.
You took it as an instructional?
Or was that pizza crust in my butt?
Put a whole damn tree? Put a bumblebee?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Or you have the songs that they still don't understand how we ever listened to it back in the day, like Maxwell, what in the butt, like they were like, how that was made? Yeah,
that was an actual thing. Yeah,
it was. They played that on MTV, the whole video. Like, what?
I think we had kind of a butt-centric moment musically speaking.
Well, maybe Hector Mix-a-Lot kind of capped it all off, right?
Well, then there was that one song that came out in the late '80s that said you didn't have to take your clothes off to have a good time. And when my 20-year-old
but get drunk on cherry wine.
Yeah, when my 20-year-old heard that, she's like, "What kind of dumb song is this?" It's like Weird Al Yankovic. Nope, that's a real group.
They actually thought they had to tell us that. I guess
It's a public service message. In the era where you had to ask people on television if they knew where their kids were.
I know. I love that, and I think about that now. I think I read something that came across the socials, and I was like, "Holy shit! Yeah, they didn't know where we were." No, they didn't. They didn't.
That was followed up with, "It's getting hot in here, so take your clothes off."
Take off all our clothes.
Nellie's backlash.
The pendulum, exactly.
So I was thinking that comment about physical media is fire should be part of your merch line.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. Wait,
like
physical
that.
media. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. Your comment by your son should be part of your merch line.
Especially with the sweatshirts you already have up there.
Analog media is fire.
Yeah.
Yes. Or physical media is fire. Absolutely.
I mean, you have Geezer on fire. You're
right. That's what I'm saying. Like, it fits.
Baby.
It could just be a tagline on the back of the shirt or something like that. With the front, you know,
that's an homage to Thrasher magazine.
An homage indeed.
You got it. So one of the things I proposed to Laura, and she 86'd, was having a shirt or a sweatshirt that said, "What's up, motherfucker?" And on the back it would say "geezer." And Laura's like, "I'm not."
Oh my god, I don't.
No,
I
but
don't.
you could do
I
like
put it
a
out to the
homage.
audience. If you like "What's up, motherfucker," and then "geezer," you know, or not, you guys can tell us.
Does that even mean? I mean, is there a cultural is that a thing?
Well,
Like, I don't think it's a tagline or something. I thought it was just random.
I mean, Foo Fighters wasn't a word until it became the best
Yeah.
band in the 90s. So there you go.
Nothing's a tagline until it becomes a tagline.
Until someone
exactly,
makes it a tagline. Yeah, this is true. I mean,
You could do like an
we'll
homage.
focus group that, Paul.
Actually, Nirvana was the best band of the 90s.
You could do like an homage to Hit Parader and some of the other magazines of the era to kind of lean into that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fringe
No, I'm-
wear.
homage, stealing, whatever. I'll take it with both hands.
I think the idea for "What's Up, Motherfucker" contraposed with "geezer" on a shirt or something was because I was thinking, like, what could I wear to the gym that would be a cool piece of geezer, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't wear hats, but if I'm in the gym, you know, if you just had something that was a little bit sort of in your face, but also then it's like geezer.
Would you frighten away the children? Is that what you're hoping to do?
Yeah, I mean, if I can get the teenagers to stop scrolling, to stop using or sitting on the machines,
And just get them off the machine you want to use. If it does nothing else, it was worth it.
Yeah, like
I think living in Salt Lake City, that shirt might cause me to be removed forcibly from certain locations.
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
Fair.
which is funny because Paul, you get on me for using curse words too much, and then you're like busting out with "What's up, motherfucker." So I've got issues, but
No, I mean, but it would be printed and you wouldn't be saying it. So it would just be,
You put it Comic Sans, so it's funny.
oh my god,
Yeah.
The whole line of Comic
and
Sans.
"What's Up, Motherfucker?" Yeah.
Comic Sans takes the whole sting out of it.
It really does.
my wife
Isn't that
got me
amazing?
my wife got me a sweatshirt that has a QR code that, you know, when you scan it just says "fuck you."
It just says,
She
"What,
bought it for me.
you?"
It says "fuck you."
Oh.
You scan it, it pops up on your phone. She bought it for me, but she won't let me wear it anywhere.
Just around the house for her own personal.
I'm like, damn it.
Right.
Does she scan it ever? I mean, it seems like it's not going to any use then.
Well, maybe you should make her wear it on date night and be like, "Okay, honey."
All right.
Or if you're in a fight or
Miss-
like something, you guys are have some conflict, and she shows up wearing your shirt. And she's like, mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to mention someone said that the Foo Fighters were mysterious lights reported by Allied pilots during World War II. So thank you so much.
There we go. Thank you, Hot
By the way,
Toddy.
Hot Toddy 69, you're clearly my kind of human. So
Howard suggested maybe dot matrix instead of Comic Sans. That's another way to do it.
What if you could get like a Comic Sans or a dot matrix print of Comic Sans?
oh my god, meta
Yeah.
font.
Yeah, just bury it in there.
Azaria's music suggests Calibri not being allowed now.
Oh my
Could be
gosh.
an,
So you guys, speaking of dot matrix, on the Geezer website, on our submissions page, there is actually a dot matrix printed piece. This is something that I wrote on my 8088, I think was the computer. And this was something I wrote to my dear friend Cindy, who
I was going to say it's to Drella. I
this
see
is
that.
Drella. She was Drella. I was Lou. This is in college, and I still have these printouts
Wow.
with like the little holes and the things on the side. And so I busted out. Here's some legit dot matrix for you.
So yes, you can use this form to send submissions, and that's fine. But if
Totally.
you really want to get attention, dot matrix, print it and mail it. That's what I'm.
And if you really want to get attention, put a 20 or a 50 in there with the dot
I mean,
matrix.
It can't hurt, right?
I had a teacher in high school who would dock points if he didn't pull the tractor feed off.
Oh, rip
Yeah.
the sides off,
Wow.
the sprocket holes. Thank you, G. James.
Sprocket holes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that so
Yeah,
much.
he would drop you like half a point for every page if you didn't tear it off. I'm like, wow, that's just micromanaging. That's just being jerky, because you could pull them off yourself while you read.
Yeah, and that's annoying.
Low, like that's a low effort sort of a thing, Come on.
Yeah, but
One thing that
multiply it
bothers me
across.
now is you go to print something and it just pops out, like the paper just pops out of the printer. I'm used to either the or like even some of the older ones that had the tactile clack clack clack, like a electronic
the daisy wheel, daisy wheel printers.
the daisy wheel,
Yeah.
or even a little later, like the early laser printers sound like a JFS, a jet fuel starter coming off on the side, because it had to warm up and everything else. And like, now you print and it just pops out, and I was like, oh, that was boring. I didn't have to wait.
Kids these days.
Yeah. Well,
it's in color. Like, what is this?
I had an Oki Data color printer, and the print cartridge was huge, but it had 3 colors on it, and you could print like half a page before all the ribbon was gone because it was going over each thing 3 times. It was crazy.
I feel like that still happens with my Cyan in my personal printer today. I don't understand.
Why is it always cyan?
Why is it always cyan?
Someone
please tell me.
What is there so much blue in the world?
Remember that? Remember the movie Office Space, which is like a cult classic from whatever it was, and the part where the guy's like, the printer fucks up and the guy's like, PC load letter? What the fuck do you mean PC load letter? And then they cut to these guys with golf clubs in a field just bashing the shit out of them. Because we all wanted to do that. That's why that was so funny.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're out of time. I was going to play Name That Cassette Tape, but I'm afraid we don't have time today.
Laura mentioned Beastie Boys earlier, and I actually have their first album, their first
Licensed
tape.
Ill.
Yeah, Licensed Ill on tape, somewhere in the room behind me. But I just, because of CES, I've been migrating a bunch of stuff back and forth, and it's not sitting where I thought it was. But yeah, I was going to break out the tape because I still have. That was the first tape I ever owned, and I still have it.
I have the first tape I ever appeared on.
Oh, sorry. So we should all say, what was the first tape that we all
the first cassette tape?
The first cassette tape that we saved money for.
Right. I remember my first album, but I'm trying to remember my first cassette.
I know mine. It's embarrassing.
Oh,
mine is Chariots of Fire soundtrack with Vangelis.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember the first cassette tape I ever had and this is going to date me because I'm an older Gen Xer, I'm 59. But when I was 11 or 12 or something, I asked my dad for, you remember that song "Right Down the Line" by Jerry Rafferty?
Right down.
It had the same album that had Baker Street on it.
Yeah, Baker Street, which was a great sax riff. But anyway, so I loved that song, and I was like, Dad, can I have that for my birthday? And he got me the $7 cassette tape in the plastic, and I was like, thank you, Dad.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Someone just put Pac-Man Fever album in
I
there.
had that on vinyl, and I got it for Easter.
I choreographed a 4th grade dance for our talent show to Pac-Man Fever. Okay, so
But the first cassette, I don't remember the first cassette I bought because it was probably Columbia Record and Tape Club, and there were 9 of them at once. But the first one I ever got when I got my first cassette player as a gift was Stars on Long Play. Remember the Stars on 45 medley of a Scandinavian group imitating the Beatles? Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Wow.
Amos, what was yours?
First tape I ever had was Beastie Boys' Licensed Ill, but the first one I bought myself was, I bought 2 of them on the same day, the same purchase at Kmart. It was And Justice for All and Appetite for Destruction.
Nice.
And Justice for All is my first CD.
The Chronic by Dr. Dre was my first CD.
Oh.
And it wasn't purchased, it was acquired.
Jerry Harrison, Rev It Up was my first CD.
Acquired.
Well, mine was, and this, I don't know if it's cringy or not, but mine was Pyromania.
Nice. No, that's classic. That's good stuff.
So that's an album that after I graduated from high school, I went on a 6-week tour of mainland China. All of my cassette tapes, except for that one, were confiscated by customs.
Oh.
And so I had Pyromania?
Yeah, I had 6 weeks of that.
On the way into China or the way out into US?
Going into China.
Into China.
They canceled. Yeah. They confiscated every cassette tape except for that one. And so that's what I listened to for 6 solid weeks. was that
Wow.
album.
What were the other ones that they confiscated and why?
A bunch of mixtapes that I had put together, and I think they took them for their own listening pleasure, to be honest with you.
I think so. Yeah.
Quite
no
possible.
doubt.
Like
Well,
Def
Laura-
Leppard, Smith Leopard. I got that one.
Laura and Paul, thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
really
This is
fun.
really, really fun. I appreciate it. Yeah.
This is a great hang. I'll do this anytime.
Fantastic. Let people know if they want to get Geezer Magazine. What should they do? Where should they go?
Yes, it's subscription only right now. Go to geezermagazine.com, and I did set up a 10% discount for you guys, and it is DTNS. Why can't I think of? Is that right?
DTNS, yeah.
DTNS 10, and that will get people 10% off of a subscription.
So you just put that code in when you're checking out. Don't forget it.
Sweet code in. It's right over there.
Right there.
It makes a great
DTNS
gift,
10.
by the way, for any geezers in your life. Or give the gift of geezer to yourself. So yeah, for anyone
geezer,
scrambling
Lord
for
geezer.
those late minute or those last minute gifts, and it'll show up in your. Wouldn't it be great to actually get something you want in your mailbox?
Yeah, no kidding. Right?
I remember when I was a kid, if you got a letter or something that was addressed to you, it was the coolest thing. So this will come into your actual for reals mailbox.
I don't think it'll fit in the mailbox, Laura.
Yeah, it does. Well, I don't know.
I don't know about your mailbox, but
I
it won't
guess.
fit in mine.
In my experience, it's hand delivered by Paul. So
Yeah, we're not mailing it. Remember, I'm
We
delivering
need to
them all.
figure out a pricing, like maybe we'll have some structure where either Paul or I or both of us will deliver it. Just we'll have to figure out the cost on that.
Go ahead and put that code on, Paul, because I'm up in Alaska and I'd already subscribed. So it's a little
fantastic.
chilly up here.
Thanks everybody for supporting us. Patreon.com/DTNS. Have a good weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday. Bye everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.